Basketball season is less than a month away. It's actually basketball season right now because the teams are practicing. So I guess they will make it basketball season for those who actually participate in the sport. We have Mike Neighbors with us, head coach, Arkansas Razorbacks women's basketball. Mike, it's always good to talk to you. Thanks for making time for us today. What are you guys up to right now?
I just walked off the Slobbering Hog and let Coach Todd take a little bit of defensive segment over in practice to talk to you guys.
How does it feel with that Slobbering Hog on the court? You're someone that can appreciate that as a native Arkansan and a historian of the programs.
Yeah, I've had to be doing some explaining to some of our players, especially on the significance of it, and some newer fans. But for somebody like me, it's, a goosebump moment because I remember seeing it during the first time that when I came into Bud Walton. So it's cool to have it back. It's got just kind of a good vibe going on in here. There's people walking in, taking pictures. I stopped practice 4 times yesterday to let different groups come out and get a picture of it. And I just think that's part of the excitement. I know that I'm excited as a fan, the fan side of me, and as a coach, I know it just anything that brings positive vibe to the gym's a good thing.
6 new players on this team, and coming from really all over the world when you look at your roster, and it feels, it is 6 new players. You got plenty of newcomers, but it does feel like a completely new team here in this 8th year for you. What are you learning about this team as practice has gotten underway?
Well, you've got the hardest job of anybody next year is pronouncing some of these cities that they're from.
No kidding.
So you're going to have to get to work. You need to transition pretty quick, Phil. It's been good. I think we're all adjusting to the changes that college sports is right now. So it's a real refreshing time. We've got a lot of kids that are very, very eager to learn. They've come from great programs. I think we all witnessed, in the Olympics this year, just how close the world is getting to us in the sport that we usually used to dominate, men's and women's. You had on the men's side and the women's side both tremendous games in the Olympics. So I think we were a little bit ahead of the game in being able to go over there and get some of the better players from these countries, get them over here and get a pipeline established. It's helped us with the recruit already in the next couple classes. So it's going to be a lot of fun, Phil. I think you're going to enjoy it. You got a group of kids that they're very mature. All of the international kids played at, academies and either professionally on teams. So they're used to being away from home. They're not your typical freshmen. They're learning at a real fast pace. I've just been really proud of them coming in, and the returners we do have coming back, the faces that our fans are used to seeing, have welcomed them with open arms and have been good leaders.
Coach, it was good to see you a couple weeks ago, and you had a women's basketball player in Wendy Willits going in to the Hall of Honor and got to chat with you for a little bit. Always cool. When you're kind of putting together a team and you're getting ready for this season, what kind of team are you trying to put together? Like, what do you want as far as attitude, consistency? What is your identity that you want this team to be?
Yeah, well, thanks for mentioning Wendy, and it was great to see you go in too, Matt. Very, very deserving. I can now say I've got pictures of Hall of Famer Matt Jones in my game room at the house. So congrats
Thanks,
to you
Coach.
as well. But it was awesome for Wendy, a player that I was around when Coach Blair was here and I was director of ops. I never was a coach on her squad, but she was instrumental. She's very close to my youngest daughter. She attended her graduation. They were in some weddings, and she had her as a flower girl in some weddings. So it was great to have Wendy go in, very deserving. And I was talking to Wendy about that, Matt. I don't know how many more Hall of Honors there's going to be for some sports. Like, I don't know the criteria. Like, how many years do you have to play here to qualify for that honor? So I just felt it was great to get Wendy in there. She's been deserving for a long time with her accolades. She's a great coach, too. That doesn't always get mentioned, and it's not part of the criteria, I know, but she's a great high school coach over in Oklahoma. So congrats to all that. But to your question, there's certain things you have to be able to do to be competitive in the SEC. So you've got to go out and try to find what those things are. I think now in going into year 8, we know what the top teams are going to do. We know what South Carolina and those teams that are winning national championships are going to do. Then we know what we have to do to be an at-large team in the NCAA tournament and be a postseason team. So we didn't really try to recreate necessarily, who we are or what we're doing. But I can tell you in gathering this group of kids, there's some things that we've never been able to do. We've got a kid that we're going to throw it to on the block that we've probably not done a whole lot of that. This is a kid that's got that mentality. She's got the physicality. She wants to. We got 2 kids like that. We went out and found some kids like that internationally that big kids that don't think that they have to step out and shoot 3. They want it around the basket. Our player from Malta, Danica Galea, she's putting it on our men's practice team out here right now, I can assure you. And Vera Ajanwu has come in, and our players again have said, Coach, they're physical, like they're going at us. And when I get that feedback from our men's practice players, I know that we've got something we haven't had. We haven't had that physicality around the basket on offense and defense. We're still going to try to shoot it. Izzy Higginbottom coming in from an Arkansas kid that, it's been a cool story on how we found each other, but she's obviously going to be a big leader for us and somebody we count on for a lot of offense. And then just each individual piece is kind of giving us something we haven't had. But our identity is going to look the same. Just probably a little different pieces doing it.
The man I've been waiting for. I loved the story in the Democrat, or it was in Hogs Illustrated, about how you and Izzy, were communicating with each other. It's just the man I've been waiting for. You don't hear that very often from anybody, Mike.
I've never heard it one time in my life. So, my wife never said that to me. No girlfriend nobody's ever said that to me. So it was kind of cool. She didn't mean it obviously in that way, but she was waiting on that call. And, it was very transparent. I told her, hey, I might have screwed up when you came out of high school. Maybe I should have been able to see that. I didn't. I'm sorry. We can dwell on that or not. She said, Coach, I'm ready to move on. I was like, well, when can you get up here? She said, the bags are in the truck. I said, so about 4.5 hours? She goes, yeah, unless we speed. And she was here in about 4:35. And, it was perfect timing. Right? That's why all of our lives usually end up falling together anyway. Right time, right place. And it was seamless. There wasn't any, hey, why didn't you recruit me? There wasn't any of me second-guessing. She wasn't second-guessing me. I didn't second-guess her. And we just started building our relationship from that point forward. And she's going to be a kid that's, going to be a captain on this team in just 1 year. She's led by example. There's no way you can have captains and not have her out there doing it because of what she's done in the short time that she's been here. So that was a cool story, and it was a cool moment. And you get a few of those every now and then, but I don't expect to ever hear that again from any human on the planet, that I'm the man you've been waiting for.
I'll just wait and say that to you when I see you the first time before the first game. Then it'll be the second time you've ever heard it. Hey, you mentioned about it. You mentioned about a player you can throw it to on the blocks. Is that Vera? Is that Vera Ojanuwu, who was at Barton Community College? She's from Nigeria, but you've talked about her. Todd Schaefer's talked to me about her. It sounds like she's really good.
Yeah, she is, and she's our best conditioned athlete, which is very rare to say about anybody that's one of your post players. She's at the top of our exertion charts every day. When you learn her story, she's got an amazing backstory that I'm sure will get told over the year, and people will just be drawn to her. But yeah, she's a kid we can throw it to. She's a kid that can drive it in there. Now she can shoot it too a little bit. She's not a good shooter, but she does add that. She's got some physicality to her. I think the first time you see her, you'll get the sense of what we're talking about. But she's got 1 year of junior college under her belt. Was a qualifier coming in, or probably would have gone straight D1. We kind of got very fortunate that people misevaluated her transcript when she came over, or she probably would have been somebody that would have been very hard to get. So the timing again was right there. There was a couple of crazy connections with family in the area, and we were able to hold off some really good schools on the recruiting to get her. She obviously saw the need of what we needed at that position, and she's come in and made the most out of it.
I want to ask about Kiki, who was top player in junior college, big-time scorer, Kiki Smith out of Topeka, Kansas. This is someone you bring in and expect to get something from immediately?
Yeah, sure. There's got to be an adjustment period to the speed of the game and just style of play, all those things. But yes, we're counting on her heavily. Phil, get ready. This is the most baby-faced college sophomore you've ever seen. She looks, her ID on her picture looks like she's maybe 12, 13 years old, but can really shoot it. Very deceptive. Shot 44% last year for a team that went 32-0 and won the National Junior College Tournament, National Player of the Year, all those accolades. But Phil, I don't care who you are. I don't care whether there's defense in front of you or not. If you're shooting that high of a percentage from the three-point line in game situations, that translates, and it's translated into early practices. We'll see what happens when it's SEC defenders in front, and can we get her open enough? And get her comfortable. But she can do some other things too. She's a sneaky good defender. I mean, you don't lead your team to 32-0 in a national championship at any level if you don't have some skills. Again, another kid that's got 3 years of eligibility coming in. So we'll wait her in slowly. I don't want to overdo it, but yes, expectations are high, and she's able to handle that.
You know, and I got Sam Pittman had said something when camp started about one of the reasons that he felt that his team might be better this year than it was last year. And he said it with respect to the players that had decided to transfer out. And he talked about one of the reasons he felt that the team would be better is because of the players who aren't with the program any longer. And again, he said that with respect to those players and their decisions, and I thought that could translate to your team very well, too. They're just, you know, the chemistry just was off. You know, there are a lot of stories that went around back and forth about what was going on, and you know, that's where some of the clean slate feels like it's coming from for me. Is that legit?
Sure, you were around it enough. You were on the plane with us. You were on the bus with us. You're in the hotel with us, so you see how it was. And you know, some of that is like you said, with all respect to everybody that was here, we had assembled quite a roster of talent. We went out, and I'm not saying I made a mistake. I was doing what we thought was the kind of the path of where this was headed in the SEC, that we needed kind of amass talent. And I don't think I did a good job of making sure those pieces fit together and became a puzzle. You know, I think you could say we had a lot of corner pieces, and we didn't have any of the inside pieces for our puzzle makers out there. But there's no question that there's a different vibe, a different feel when it comes to that aspect of it. I don't know whether it's better or worse yet. That's way too far off for me to say yet. I'll be interested to get your take on it when you get around. But sure, like you're mentioning with Coach, I think it's showing on the field, and I think that's how you practice. We've had 17 practices, and I'd tell you that you're spot on with that assessment. I don't know all the whys yet of it, but there's no doubt that what you just said is true.
What are the boys up to these days?
We are monster trucking, Phil. There's not a Hot Wheels or Monster Jam monster truck you couldn't send me a picture of, and I couldn't tell you the name of it.
Quite a collection at home?
Bowen's really – oh, man. Listen. Bowen, we've got – I don't know how many. We got a tub full of them. And we were picking him up the other day, and he goes, "Hey, Dad, we're missing the Velociraptor." And I'm like, "Man, he's in there." And he's like, "No, he's not in there, Dad." So, there's 100 of them, Phil. I'm telling you, 100 of them. And I thought, well,
the apple does not fall far from the tree, Mike. You are the biggest collector that I know. You had to know this was going to happen.
I know, but for him to pick out the one out of the 100 that had rolled under the couch, and I'd put some of them in. I don't know how he did it. So. They're fun, you know. They're 4-3 now. They're getting to that stage where they fight like brothers and love like brothers. Within the same, 5 minutes. You might not recognize Bowen. He's kind of thinned up a little bit. I'm not so sure he's not going to be a skill position. We had him kind of penciled in at having his hand in the dirt for the rest of his life, but I'm not so sure he can't take some lessons and maybe be a big skill guy.
Hey, last question. JT texted in, and he said it's a serious question for Coach. When I saw that, I thought he had a basketball question. He wants to know the best new Red Dirt band you're listening to now. I know you got one or two.
Yeah, I do. I'm going to give him two. He said band, so I'm going to answer his question. It's Treaty Oak Revival, and it's not even close. Saw him live here in Fayetteville. There was 500 or 600 people here. I was on the road recruiting. I actually saw they were in town that I was in, thinking I would go out and see him in another 400 or 500 audience. There were 8,000 people there, and they knew every word to every song, and they're going to blow up. So I'll answer his question. It's Treaty Oak Revival, and if he's looking for a new musician, Zach Top. There's no question. Those two are really easy to pick out right now.
Very good. Mike, you're great to make time for us today. Looking forward to the season. Can't wait to see you guys. And thanks again.
You got it, brother.
Thanks, Coach.
It's Mike Neighbors, head women's basketball coach, Arkansas Razorbacks. I always like to spend time with Coach Neighbors, whether it's about basketball or anything else.
Yeah, he's okay.
He is.
He's okay.
He is. 877-377-6963 is our number.
That's like the highest compliment a man can give another man. It's like, yeah, he's okay.
He's okay. He's a ball player.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, Mike Neighbors is a ball player,
yeah,
even though he's a coach.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.